in office, but has his government been able to address the unemployment situation? We will find out. Still on the presidency, Akufo-Addo has reposed confidence in the police to quell terrorist infiltration. We speak to a security analyst. Must children walk 4 miles just to go to school? You want to know more on this story. And in business, the Ghana Standards Authority wants the Ministry of Trade to enforce laws on second-hand clothing. We've got many more stories, including sports, for you. Stay with us. This is GH Today on GH1 TV. So our first story, unemployment is a major issue in every developing country, and Ghana is no exception. Even to some security experts, the high rate of unemployment can undermine the security of a nation. According to the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, only 10% of graduates find jobs 1 year after completing school. At the Meet the Press session on Wednesday, the president was asked about unemployment in the country, and this was his response.
Mr. President, my name is Kemini Amano. I work for GH1 Television. I'd like to know, how many jobs did your administration create, directly, indirectly, permanent or otherwise, over the past year? Now, respectfully, while you're at it, do tell us, how does that measure on unemployment in the country?
The statistics on the jobs, I think, as we all forget, I'm barely 1 year in office. Some of these statistics are being collected as we speak now. So the labor statistics as to the amount of jobs that have been created, those are not statistics that are at hand anywhere, even for me, for the government. I believe that they are in the process of being assembled. So perhaps in 2 or 3 months' time, we'll be in a position to answer that question in a more effective manner.
President Akufo-Addo has justified his exoneration of the Trade Minister, Alan Trematin, over allegations of extortion at the recently held Ghana Expatriate Business Awards. When quizzed about how he arrived at that conclusion, even before the 5-member ad hoc committee wraps up its investigations, the president said he's pleased by the explanation given to him by the sector minister.
I was there at the occasion. And nobody had made me aware that there was anything like people buying money to sit next to me or anything. So it came as a surprise to me. And I asked for an explanation from him. And he gave me a full account of the process that had been undertaken, the monies that had been paid, the use of the monies, and I mean, a full accounting. I looked at it, I examined it with others, and was satisfied that it had responded to the allegation that had been made. And I believe the statement he made to me is the very same statement that he made to the committee. And it has been supported by virtually everybody who was involved in the organization of the event. So I believe that I was on firm ground in saying to myself that yes, an allegation has been made, it has been looked into, queries that I put on the matter have been responded to, and I'm satisfied with the quality of the responses that I have got. The fact that there is a public inquiry in it, in itself, to me, does not shake my own conviction that there was nothing untoward had taken place. And that is the reason why I I took the position that I did. I took that position before the inquiry was launched.
Now, if you ever thought that the president was going to reduce the number of his ministers, then you've got it all wrong. The president says all his 110 ministers are delivering on their mandates, and he doesn't see the need to cut down on their number. President Akufo-Addo made this pronouncement at a media encounter with journalists at the Flagstaff House on Wednesday.
The answer about the 110 is the same as I gave at the beginning. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let us see the performance of the government. So far, I believe the government is performing well. That's my assessment. You may have a different assessment, but that is my assessment, and that is the justification for the numbers that there are. They were brought in to do a job, not just to fill offices, and I believe that they are doing a good job. So that's my response.
Still with the media encounter on Wednesday, President Akufo-Addo didn't mince words when he promised Ghanaians that by the end of 2017, the national identification card would be operationalized. But a few weeks into the new year, the card hasn't seen the light of day yet. The president has been explaining why the national ID card has been put on hold for now.
Unfortunately, with the national ID system, which is delayed, the law under which the program was going to be unveiled was at the last minute subjected to another review and found to be inadequate. So a new LI, because the process has to take place and be implemented under an enabling law. A new LI is ready for submission to Parliament when Parliament reassembles on the 23rd, and after the 21 days working period is over, it will be ready to go into motion. But it is certainly not on the back burner because it's such an important aspect of our own overall strategy for going forward.
President Akufo-Addo says the fate of the 2 Guantanamo detainees in Ghana will be determined by Parliament when the House reconvenes from recess. He says he's fully aware that a decision has to be made on Mahmoud Umar Mohammed bin Atef and Khalid Mohammed Salih Al-Dubi, who were brought to Ghana in 2016 for a period of 2 years. The two have exhausted their stay in the country.
Get more detainees. The period is up. A decision has to be made and that decision is under active. We need to be able to say something to the Parliament when it resumes, because the period under which the agreement was brought has come to an end. We have to decide whether or not we're going to grant them permission to stay, whether we're going to make arrangements for them to go somewhere else. All those things are being actively examined as we sit. But I'm fully aware that a decision on them has to be made, and it cannot be made in 6 months or 5 months. It has to be made.
Still on Wednesday's encounter with the media, President Akufo-Addo has said that the government is doing everything possible to block the infiltration of terrorists. He said he's confident in the police to quell any possible threat. President Akufo-Addo made the statement when he met the media at the Flagstaff House Wednesday.
Although Ghana has not experienced any terrorist attack, some security experts have warned the country is not immune to the global threats. About 2 years ago, a graduate from the KNUST was reported to have joined ISIS. 2 days ago, some persons were arrested for possessing grenades. So how is the government responding to these threats?
Ghana, in principle, cannot be exempt as a potential target. So the security preparedness of our country is an extremely important matter. But I think that as far as our state is compared especially to many of the states in our region, so far so good on our part.
On the issue of the menace of the Fulani herdsmen in Agogo and other parts of the country, President Akufo-Addo said the issue needs a thorough approach.
The Fulani menace, yes, the time has come for an attempt at a comprehensive policy to deal with it. It is important that we devise a comprehensive proposal to be able to deal with the matter, not just the firefighting as you're talking about. But it is important. But once you're devising methods of how the cattle can be maintained and properly quarantined and looked after, that also the pure law and order measures that need to be taken to prevent violence, to make sure that the herdsmen behave within the context of the law.
You're watching GH Today News. My name is Kafui Day. Now, away from Flagstaff House, people living with disability in the Sunyani municipality of the Brong-Ahafo region are lamenting about unpaid disbursements from the District Assembly Fund. They expressed their displeasure at the first general meeting of the Sunyani branch of people living with disability.
Members of the association further indicated the situation is making life unbearable for them, as they often go in for loans to survive. They also bemoan the stigmatization and discrimination still perpetuated against living with disabilities.
First, I say, Senkaka wo ho. Na ye the complaints because say we see this kind of mayeno. Ye ni enye ho. Nti o me wa gesen ko system non ko mayeno foforo. E de amayen. But be afini no yente hwe do o ma be twetwere di no e de kode na yente hwe fa ho.
Ebia na me your baby maybe him say like he want to marry me. The society, they will not accept me. They will say I am a disabled, I can't do this, I can't do that, they will not accept me. Maybe the man too, he loves to marry me. And the landlord, a few for so we will all hide it down. They all say, won't mean you say, and just baby.
Raphael Bocho Nkegbe, a member of the association and para-Olympian, called on the government to support the team to prepare adequately towards the Commonwealth Games in Australia.
Locally, preparation haven't started yet because the ministries and the sports authority have sent a lot in terms of our preparation. The preparation is in two phases. They said we're having local preparation, then we can go international to go and have 1 month preparation before moving to the Commonwealth game, who will start from 4th to 15th April. So far, as individual athletes, I'm preparing and being one of the athletes that has qualified. This is my second time going to the Commonwealth game, and I'm having a high hope.
Some education news now. Now, imagine your child walking a distance of 4 miles just to go to school. Well, that's the situation some children at Aprede, Kwamanting in the eastern region go through because of a lack of a school. Worried parents told GHOne News that fatigue sometimes affects the concentration level of their children. Kojo Ansa has the rest of the story.
These children walk about 4 miles to school every day. A risky trek for these children, a situation they have to grapple with as they defy the odds to get education. Interestingly, a 3-unit classroom block erected by a benevolent organization in 2011 has become a white elephant, the reason being that it has not been officially commissioned. A completed classroom block sitting in the Aprede Kwamantin community has been reduced to a decorated doll, while children go through harsh conditions to access education. Some residents have also been sharing how the situation is inconveniencing education of children in the community.
Car baby fanuno, a canu ama, a coda kitty or benanti, baby or coda way benanti, a son of a coscuno, so fast, quite so crowd bread. Now so I got a kitty away, or benanti, so see there be over to says 7 cities. and send our Babeko school and at 10 cities and send our Babeko school Daku.
If they can help us so that we start the school, because the building has been completed for so many years now, and the children, the young ones are still in the house, not able to go to the schools which are near.
Henry Agogli, Unit Committee Chairman and Opinion Leader, has this to say.
After building the school, the DC came here and said, oh, as the school was completed, then he will find a way so that he will open the school. Up to now, the school was built almost about 6 years or something like that. Up to now, it's there. They didn't open it. So if the new MPP government can help us this time and open it for us, I think we will like it.
Efforts made to get MCE for Akuapem North Municipality, Dennis Abuaje, proved futile.
You're watching GH Today News. We're going for a quick break. We'll return with business and other stories. Stay with us. You're watching GH Today News. Now to business. The Ghana Standards Authority has called on the Ministry of Trade to immediately enforce the law on second-hand hankies, panties, duvets, and mattresses. According to the authority, the use of these items is unhygienic and could pose a health hazard to various individuals. In response to this call, some traders who deal in second-hand panties and hankies at the Kantamanto Market in Accra say the move will leave them in poverty.
In Ghana, it is called Fos.
In Kenya, it's Mitumba. In Rwanda, it's Chagwa. And in eastern Zambia, it's called Salaula. Most African languages have a word used to describe them. Some second-hand wares that start life wrapped across the bodies of well-meaning Westerners end up for sale at open market in African countries like Ghana. The United Nations has estimated that 80% of Africans wear second-hand clothes, while Oxfam, a charitable organization, says about 70% of clothes donated globally end up in Africa. These unwanted wares from Europe seem to be in high demand here in Ghana, as there are over 200 traders who mount stands or tables at the Kantamanto Market every day. Among those traders are those who retail used underwears and other personal effects in spite of their ban. Low purchasing power forces many people in Ghana to lean towards more affordable used clothes. Naturally, high demand incentivizes traders who earn a living out of this used clothing.
Second hand, me fan say we say a second hand. We cramp ya tonwa wo ha 3 cedis. And na dey brand new no so no. E bo ha 6 cedis. Etinye ni panyina na e den. Omobenya sa 6 cedis no. No ma kwa akoton. We say na ye ton no 3 cedis ne 4 cedis no. E wo mu akrampo na etimi bo ne donko mi bo a 1 cedi.
Janet Emmanuel, a Nigerian who has traded in second-hand underwear for the last 10 years, indicated that she is yet to encounter any officials for flouting the ban.
Whether it is second, this in dress or underwear or brassiere or any other thing, it has to be washed before using it. You know, anything second-hand is something somebody have already worn. So it had to be washed before you use it. So there is no harm there. If they ban it, which means they want to hurt the less privileges.
Ghana Standards Authority regulation stipulates no person shall import for commercial purpose or in commercial quantities any of the following goods which are second-hand or which have been used: handkerchiefs, men, women and children's underpants, mattresses and sanitary wear. Nonetheless, these second-hand mattress dealers will not budge.
Mattress no home use no money ban. FPA, it's not your quality. No ball flow form. Any na deal Ghana one brand new. Every 3 months omutum. Every 3 months omutum. Ama ne tono ayeten
obi nkorofo so pe ba obi aba ne second so na wakọ first say omudi home issue ba ya yeto amanfo topa
Gusayamati is very good, but the point is it's a free market, it's a free world. Allow the latest foam and the ash foam people, they should sell their own. Standard Boss should check our own. If you bring, because me, I know the kind of mattresses I sell. When you bring the mattresses, and it is not of the quality, because some of the mattresses, they just mention the name second-hand mattress. But when you see it, it's brand new. It's just when I tell you even they've not used it, you don't know. And you tell me I should go and buy latest foam mattress. No.
These recalcitrant retailers risk being slapped with a fine not exceeding 500,000 Ghana cedis or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year or to both. Members of the public, however, have mixed reactions towards the ban.
I believe that there are some people that they don't have money, so that's why they come to this level. If they have the money, they will go to the big store and buy nice things for themselves and their children. But because they don't have the money, so they have to come down to this level. But I want to say that the government, before they take any decision at all concerning this matter, they should consider the welfare of the people who are doing it, because that is their life. That's where they made their ends meet.
As for me, I can say second hand, they are good, because people sometimes we don't have money to buy the new things. It's better for us to use the second hand. So I advise the government to not ban it, because we need it.
But it's better to prevent than to cure. You understand? Yeah. If that's gonna bring good sanitation in Ghana and then good improvement of health and stuff, then why don't we cooperate with them?
Still in business, the leadership of various labor unions has bemoaned government's delay in forming a board at the National Labour Commission to deal with labor issues in the country. The latest to speak to this matter is the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Karowe. He told GH1 Business that the situation has created a backlog of cases which need the urgent attention of the National Labour Commission.
Edward Karowe, who was reacting to the president's silence on the matter as he met with the media as part of assessment of the 1 year in office, said even though the unions have sent their list of commissions, the president is yet to give his approval for them to commence their duties. He noted the situation has a tendency to affect dispute resolution on the job market.
The determination of the board members have to come from the three stakeholders, major ones, government, employers, and then labor or organized labor. Much has gone into it, and it's now left with the president to probably appoint them and then commission them to do their work.
The mandate of the existing commission expired at the latter part of 2017, hence the absence of the commissioners to play the role of mediators and arbitrators at the NLC. He called for the expansion of their operations.
It's a serious challenge, seriously, and we think that not only about the board, but the commission needs a lot of resources. And we think that this year and going forward, more offices should be opened for in the regions, Kumasi, Tamale, and so on, so that those far from Accra could access this type of important services.
And our final business story, President Akufo-Addo says his government has saved the country some $7 billion since reviewing 24 power purchase agreements. The review, the president says, has led to the termination of 11 of those pacts. President Akufo-Addo also touted his administration's ability to stabilize the erratic power situation in Ghana. He explained that not only is regular supply important, but competitive rates of power are equally necessary. Against that backdrop, the president has reiterated the need for reduced tariffs for small and medium-scale enterprises.
Tariff rates for non-residential users of electricity, which embrace most SMCs, have been reduced by an average of 14% to boost their competitiveness. Furthermore, an industrial development tariff has been approved for industry to enhance its competitiveness. A new rate of US dollars 6.50 cents per million British thermal units, MMBTU, as against the previous rate of US dollars 8.84 cents per million British thermal units, has been approved, established, a 26.5% reduction. In addition, a review of 24 power purchase agreements, which has led to the termination of 11 power deals and the rescheduling of 8 others, has enabled us to save the government treasury about $7 billion in excess capacity charges over a 13-year contract period.
You're watching GH Today News. My name is Kafui Day. We go for a quick break. We return with sports news and more. And now for sports news, and the Brazilian World Cup winner Ronaldinho has retired from football, although he hasn't played a game since 2015. Ronaldinho, 37, was part of the triumphant Brazil 2002 World Cup squad. He also won the Ballon d'Or in 2005, as well as the Champions League in 2006 with Barcelona. His brother and agent Roberto Assis confirmed the retirement on Tuesday and announced a series of tribute events. Ronaldinho started his career with Grêmio in Brazil before moving to Paris Saint-Germain in 2001. After 5 years at Barcelona and 2 La Liga titles, he also had a spell at AC Milan where he won the 2011 Serie A title. Ronaldinho moved to Brazilian side Flamengo in 2011 before spells at Atlético Mineiro, Querétaro in Mexico, and Fluminense. President Akufo-Addo has revealed during his encounter with the media at the Flagstaff on Wednesday that the 2014 white paper produced by the Jamape Commission to serve as a roadmap in football administration hasn't been one of his major worries. The Jamape Commission uncovered a number of allegations, including the embezzlement of state funds as the reason behind the airlifting of $3 million to pay Black Star players during the 2014 World Cup.
To be honest, I've forgotten about the 2014 white paper. But I have no doubt that my Minister of Sports is fully up to it and will advise in due course what should be the reaction of me and the government to it. But it has not been something that has been very much on my radar, the 2014 white paper on sports.
We go for a break. We return with entertainment news. Stay with us. You're watching GH Today News. Now here's some entertainment news for you.
In the night, I hear him talk, the coldest story ever told. Somewhere
saint were released 2 months after each of their birth. Just like that, the baby girl might also have to wait even longer before her stardom begins. But no matter how long it takes, the Kardashian West Coast will always find its way in the spotlight, one way or the other. Just like they did with their 2 older kids, North and Saint, the new baby might just be named Heaven. You never know.
Homie, I don't know, she's hot and cold. I won't stop, won't mess my groove up, cause I already know how this thing goes.
And that's all for today's GH Today News Bulletin. There's more news at 11:30 this morning and at 6:30 in the evening. My name is Kafui Day. GH Today continues. We've got a lot for you. Stay with us. And we've got some great music on Throwback Thursday. Cindy Thompson has some music for us. Enjoy.